Type 1 and Type 2 superconductors. The interior of a bulk superconductor cannot be penetrated by a weak magnetic field. When the applied magnetic field becomes too large, superconductivity breaks down. Superconductors can be divided into two types according to how this breakdown occurs. We have differentiated superconductors into two categories. One is your type 1 superconductor and number 2 is type 2 superconductor. Let us first discuss about type 1 superconductor. Type 1 superconductor or soft superconductor. The superconductor in which the superconductivity is abruptly destroyed via a first order phase transition when the strength of the applied field is above a critical field or critical value, that is Hc, is called type 1 superconductor. First order phase transition means the first order phase transition are those that involve a latent heat, that is heat which is produced due to bond energy. That is, in first order phase transition, heat is evolved or heat is required due to the bond energy, that is making or breaking of bonds. Type 1 superconductivity is normally exhibited by pure metals like aluminum, lead, mercury, etc. Consider a specimen in the form of a long solid cylinder placed in a longitudinal magnetic field. In longitudinal magnetic field, the field lines are parallel to the axis of the cylindrical specimen. Then if you plot a graph taking applied magnetic field along x-axis and the magnetization along y-axis, then the shape of the graph will be as shown in the figure. If you take magnetization M in CGS unit, then you take minus 4 pi m, and if you take magnetization in SI unit, then you take mu 0 m. Instead of minus 4 pi m, you take mu 0 m. You take minus mu 0 m. Okay. The applied magnetic field is basically due to the current in the coil. Here you have taken the applied magnetic field BA, which is basically due to the current in the coil. So as shown in the figure, the magnetization increases. You see, the magnetization increases with the applied magnetic field until a critical field is reached. This is the critical field Hc. So until the critical field Hc, when you increase the applied magnetic field, the magnetization increases. At the critical field, the magnetization falls to 0. You see, at the critical field, the magnetization falls to 0, at which you are at this point or beyond this point, the magnetization is just like the magnetization in normal conductor. Okay. So if you divide M divided by H, what you do in Meissner effect, then the value will be equal to minus 1. At this point, suppose here you divide M by H, that means M is equal to here minus M, that is equal to minus Hc. So minus Hc divided by minus Hc. So it will be equal to minus 1. That is a perfect diamagnet, as you have discussed in Meissner effect. So in type 1 superconductor, Meissner effect is valid or Meissner effect is complete. What are the application of type 1 superconductor, the value of critical magnetic field Hc in type 1 superconductor is very low. Therefore, type 1 superconductors are used in coils for making superconducting magnets. Now let us discuss about type 2 superconductors. The superconductors in which Meissner effect is said to be incomplete are called type 2 superconductors. The figure shows in here is the superconducting magnetization curve for a type 2 superconductor. Here you have taken in the x-axis the applied magnetic field, here BA, and in the y-axis you have taken the magnetization. So in the figure you see from 0 to Hc1, from 0 to Hc1 it is in the superconducting state, and from Hc1 to Hc2, you see from Hc1 to Hc2 it is in vortex state, and beyond Hc2 it is in normal state. So there are three states: superconducting state, vortex state, and normal state. The Meissner effect is valid from 0 to Hc1. You see from 0 to Hc1 the Meissner effect is valid. Here Hc1 is called the lower critical field, and Hc2 it is called the higher critical field or upper critical field. Between the lower critical field Hc1 and the upper critical field Hc2, the flux density B0 is not equal to 0. The Meissner effect is said to be incomplete. From 0 to Hc1, the Meissner effect is complete, where B equal to 0. But from Hc1 to Hc2, B is not equal to 0. The flux density is not equal to 0. That is, Meissner effect is said to be incomplete. And you see in between the region Hc1 to Hc2, in between the region Hc1 to Hc2, the superconductor is in a state called the vortex state, where there is coexistence of resistive and superconducting subregions. In vortex state, there is coexistence of superconducting and non-superconducting resistive subregions. So above Hc2, you see above Hc2 the specimen is a normal conductor. The value of Hc2 may be 100 times or more than the value of critical field, that is Hc. Hc is the critical field, and the value of Hc2 is 100 times or more than Hc. So we have to remember these following points. The Meissner effect is valid in type 2 superconductor. The Meissner effect is valid from 0 to Hc1, where Hc1 is called the lower critical field, Hc2 is called the upper critical field. Between the lower critical field Hc1 and upper critical field Hc2, the flux density B is not equal to 0, and the Meissner effect is said to be incomplete. In the region between Hc1 and Hc2, superconductor is in a state called vortex state, and in vortex state there is coexistence of resistive and superconducting subregions. Above Hc2, the specimen is a normal conductor. The value of Hc2 may be 100 times or more higher than the value of the critical field Hc. Type 2 superconductors are basically alloys or transition metals with high values of electrical resistivity in the normal state. For example, alloys of niobium, aluminum and germanium, alloy of lead, molybdenum and sulfur. What are the uses of type 2 superconductors? Type 2 superconductors have an important medical application in magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. So in conclusion, in between type 1 superconductor and type 2 superconductor, in type 1 superconductor, Meissner effect is completely valid, and in type 2 superconductor, Meissner effect is partially valid.